Hey guys, Emily Muchanti here, back with another video about reading intervention. And today we are going to talk about a very sensitive subject, and that is how do we as intervention teachers handle pushback from classroom teachers? So before we get started, if you are new to my channel, I hope you will like and subscribe so that you don't miss a thing and be involved in this conversation about how we can bring amazing reading interventions to our students in elementary schools all over the place. So let's jump right into it. Now, we are going to get pushback. Every teacher, any administrator, anybody new, especially on a campus, is going to get some pushback. It is sad to say, but it happens. And it can be really, really sensitive. This issue is sensitive. It hurts our feelings. Let's be honest. It hurts our feelings. We get, a little agitated or irritated by the fact that we're not being given kind of the chance to basically prove ourselves. And so how do we handle this? So I want to talk to you about a few ways that you can take on this issue of maybe some either negativity or, pushback from the teachers at your site. The first thing I would recommend is that you remember that this is about building a team. The best and most efficient way to make our interventions really work for our kids is to make sure that we have a school-wide approach to intervention. And that means that we really need all stakeholders involved, and that includes our classroom teachers. And so we don't want to go into any situation with guns ablazing. This is sensitive. And you have to understand that change is hard. It's hard for you as a new intervention teacher. It's hard for a new admin. And it's hard for the classroom teacher because we are asking, in some cases, we're asking them to reevaluate what they've done. And sometimes that can put them in a very vulnerable position. We don't like to think that maybe we haven't been approaching reading instruction the right way. And so we get a little sensitive, and honestly, we get a little defensive about that. So we need to understand where this is coming from. First and foremost, let's remember that all of us, classroom teachers, interventionists, admin, parents, everybody has the same goal. The goal is that we improve student outcomes. We all want to help our students. We don't go into this business for any other reason. The difference happens where we disagree with how we are going to approach this, this way of helping all of these kids. So if we can agree that first, all of our hearts are in the right place, then we have a common ground that we can stand on. And this is super important because with intervention, you're going to be doing things in your intervention programs that oftentimes the classroom teacher won't know a lot about except what they're hearing from their students. You're not going to be pulling kids for intervention just to do what the teacher is doing in the classroom. That's really the wrong approach. And so sometimes your classroom teachers are going to be like, what are you doing there? So what we really need to work on is building communication. And this happens at all of your staff meetings, any PLC meetings, any trainings that you provide. This is where you have to start this conversation, even in the lunchroom, to be really honest. So we want to share what we are doing in intervention. It cannot be a mystery. Kids are going to come back from intervention and say something because they had a great time, and the teacher's going to think, oh, they're playing games the whole time. And we may be doing something really fun that the kid loved with a completely methodical purpose to it that is helping a skill, but the kid's not going to say that to the teacher. And so the teacher's always going to be like, what are you doing? So we need to share what we're doing. And this is where your admin is going to really come in and needs to be an advocate and a partner with you. You need to be given some time to basically just give an update in what you're doing, where you're at in your interventions. If you are in the middle of universal screening, you need to talk to the teachers about that. You need to thank them for their patience with letting you pull students as you're testing. You need to share that you will share the results. So as we start to kind of demystify what's happening in the intervention room or the reading lab, then the teachers kind of start to get an idea of what is happening. The next really important thing that you need to do is share your data. The first thing, and this is why I am a strong advocate of universal screening of the whole school. I have a universal screening video that you are welcome to check out, and it will give you a lot of information. But the whole reason that we do this universal screening is so that we can see where all of our students are. And by you and your team coming in and providing the assessment, completing the assessment, your teachers don't have to use any of their valuable instructional time. This is a really great bridge to build with your teachers. You're not asking them to do more. What you are going to do with your intervention team is you will provide the team to do the assessments, and you are then going to be able to share those results with your staff. You need to talk to your admin about scheduling a staff development day. We always had early release on Wednesdays, and you need a few of these periodically so that you can take the lead and share the data, giving your teachers, if you're using a universal screening tool like Acadience, where you've got online data reports to share, give them all an account, show them how to use it, explain what you're testing and why you're testing it. Let them see what's happening. And then as you progress monitor their students that are in the reading lab or the reading intervention, you are going to be able to show these teachers how the kids are progressing. Now, it's important to remember that intervention is not an island. Intervention is in conjunction with classroom instruction and core instruction. And so any gains that you find in your progress monitoring, you want to share and celebrate with your classroom teachers because it's a team effort. Always remember that this is part of a team. The next thing that we want to remember is that in some cases, you may see, observe, or watch teachers that don't have really best practices when it comes to reading instruction. They might be doing things that kind of are counterintuitive to what you're doing in intervention. I'll give you an example. We have teachers in primary especially that are really hanging on to their guided reading training, and they may be using strategies and teaching strategies that are counterproductive to what you're doing in the phonics realm of things. So if you have a teacher that is asking a student to look at pictures to figure out words or to guess at words, we want to gently have a conversation where they can start to see how later on in a student's educational career, that's really going to hurt them if those are the only strategies they have to go through. So there are some things that we have to gently come in and try to enlighten and share with our teachers so that they know why we're doing it. They know the best strategies to use so that they can help their students, even more than they were in the past. And it's true, you don't know what you don't know. And so we tend to teach the way we were taught. And if it's back when I was in school, that was really a lot by sight. And so we have to kind of go back and have these conversations that help our staff and our teachers to grow. And it needs to be a safe place. So the best thing that you can do, and your administrator is going to be super important here, is your staff needs to be safe. You need to feel safe. Your teachers need to feel safe and valued so that you can have conversations that might involve some disagreements, but you can talk about them and come to an understanding and work through what's best for your school. Super important. One thing that you can do if you have a teacher maybe who's giving you some pushback is you can ask them, start a conversation with the phrase such as, what is your favorite lesson or instructional strategy to teach blank? Okay, to teach fluency, to teach decoding, to teach silent E. And then ask, how do you know it's working? So we want to revert back to the data. Teachers have always, we've gone through our gut. We go with our gut all the time. And quite honestly, our gut is not enough. We have high stakes testing at the end of the year. And those are things that our administrators and our districts, they need to see growth. So we have to take the subjectivity out of what we're doing and out of the data collection. And we need to talk some cold numbers and see if we can quantify the growth that our students are experiencing. That's going to be a challenge for classroom teachers in some cases. So sometimes what you have to do is start with a key little group of teachers. They're eager. They want to learn. They're seeking you out. They know that something isn't going right in their reading instruction, and they're looking for answers. And you, my friend, need to become the expert. If you don't know, don't fake it. Just tell them you'll figure it out and go find an answer for them. So you want to be that bridge that guides this conversation throughout your school. What I used to do was have voluntary meetings after school, 30 minutes. Hey guys, I want to show you this little bit. And I would get a handful of teachers and then next time a couple more because they would bring their friends and so on. We never got everybody on the volunteer route, but you can get most people. And depending on how your administration wants to handle that, you can have some conversations with your admin if there should be some things that are required, because sometimes we just have to show teachers what to do. Sometimes your admin might have to just mandate some things. It may be the way you have to go. It's a last resort, in my opinion, because what you want to do is kill them with kindness. You need to be safe. You need to be a place that doesn't judge. You need to be a place where you can be vulnerable with them as well. And share some of your struggles so that you can find some common ground. Those are some things that I would suggest you do with your teachers that might be a little bit resistant if you're asking for them to change some instruction. We do know that we can never intervene our way out of a tier 1 instruction issue. So the first thing we really need to focus on is helping our tier 1 classroom teachers provide really strong instruction that is explicit and direct and gives those kids the foundation so that they can access the standards with them. And then we can come in and kind of bridge those gaps. But remember, it's a team, it takes a village, and you have the right heart and soul for it. So fight the good fight, keep the smile on your face, find the few friends you have, take the newbie teachers under your wing and kind of guide and show them how they can be better themselves. Because again, remember, we're all in it for the same reason. We want to do right by our students. We just have to find a common ground. That's it for now. Bye for now.